Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the inaugural episode of Memory of Magnet with Amanda DeLalla. I'm your host, Amanda DeLalla, and this is an unscripted show where I will be choosing a magnet from my collection of Broadway shows at random and telling you the story of my experience with that show and how it affected my life and my budding career as a playwright actor. So in front of me, I have pretty much my whole collection, and I will choose one at random, although it's kind of hard to see from this angle, and we'll see what happens. So here we go. What do we have today? Oh, Sunday in the Park with George. How fitting that this, of all the plays and musicals in my arsenal, is the first one. I saw Sunday in the Park with George, the most recent Broadway revival, at the Hudson Theater. It's featuring Jake Gyllenhaal and Annaleigh Ashford in the leading roles. Now, I also thought it was very fitting that this was the first magnet chosen because Taylor Swift just released a bunch of music about Jake Gyllenhaal this month. And as much as I love Taylor Swift, I also loved Jake Gyllenhaal as George Seurat in this play. And God, Stephen Sondheim is my all-time favorite writer for the musical theater. And this show, some people say it's his magnum opus. It certainly speaks to me as an artist, particularly that one line, "Look, I made a hat where there never was a hat," that I think speaks to why artists do what they do, because it's what I call the God complex, creating something where once was nothing. I also am really fond of Dot's songs in this musical, sung brilliantly by Ashford, and particularly expressing her emotions toward George and their relationship. How in the absolutely heartbreaking number, "We Do Not Belong Together," she has this amazing lyric, "No one is you, George, and there we agree, but others will do, George." You know, kind of resigning herself to the fact that George is the love of her life, and yet she has to settle for something less. It's captured so brilliantly and so marvelously reprised at the end of the show during the number "Move On," in which the spirit of Dot sings to her great-grandson, also played by Jake Gyllenhaal, and she kind of guides him into the next step of his career. And interestingly, the Hudson Theater, where I saw this revival, is both the oldest and the newest theater on Broadway. It was probably in existence, from what I understand, before all the other current Broadway houses, and yet it was closed for many, many, many years until it reopened a few years back. And if memory serves, Sunday in the Park with George, this production was its inaugural production as a newly reopened Broadway house, and it is an absolutely beautiful place. The chandeliers and the way they decorated it, the colors, and it was just an ideal place for this revival. And I'm so grateful I got to see it and experience another one of Stephen Sondheim's amazing works, just as it was meant to be presented. And the rest of the cast, mind you, was also superb. Philip Boykin as the boatman, Ruthie Ann Miles. Oh God, I know Penny Fuller was supposed to play George's mother, but we actually saw her understudy that night. Yeah, just a truly unforgettable experience, and a show I hope to do myself one day. This has been Amanda DeLalla, coming at you live from Staten Island, New York. Thank you for sticking with me during this first little episode here, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Good night.